Okay, let's put some damn shifts. Slut from China. From China. Street whore. Slut.
Do you remember reading the Christmas story as a kid? The star, the manger, the shepherds, the wise men, and then somebody closed the book. Because 2 verses after the manger, the same book you were reading turns dark. Really dark. Somebody in that story runs. Somebody in that story cannot go home. Somebody in that story is told something a mother should never have to hear. And in 2,000 years of Christmas Eve services, on every continent Christmas is celebrated, nobody has ever read those verses to you in December. They stayed in the book. They just stopped being read out loud. And nobody told you they had. Nobody sat you down and said, we're going to skip a couple things. They just skipped them. The story ended with a card ending, the manger, the star, peace on earth, and whatever came after that got quietly left out of December. Not once. Every year. In every service. For as long as anyone in your family has been alive.
Chase that for the kingdom come!
Start where the running starts, 2 days after the manger, according to Matthew's Gospel, with Joseph asleep next to Mary, the baby next to them, and an angel appearing in his dream. Matthew chapter 2, verse 13. What the angel says to Joseph, word for word, is, Arise, and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word, for Herod will seek the young child to destroy him.
I'll chase that for the kingdom come!
Herod will seek him. 3 verbs in a row that tell you exactly what the situation is. This is not a leisurely trip. This is not a family sabbatical to Egypt. This is a middle-of-the-night warning that the head of state is looking for the newborn. And if Joseph does not move right now, in the dark, on foot, with a nursing infant and a woman recovering from childbirth, the child is not going to survive the week. The next verse tells you he goes. When he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night, and departed into Egypt. By night. That is the phrase Matthew chose. In the dark. Joseph doesn't have to wagon. He doesn't send word to family. He doesn't wait for the sun. The angel says get up, and he gets up, and they leave. Egypt is roughly 120 miles from Bethlehem, on foot, in the ancient world, with a newborn, through Roman-controlled territory, as refugees with nowhere to be from.
Chase that for the kingdom come!
Because it is the image of the story. It is the very next verse after the one your Christmas card was made from. The Holy Family, the actual Holy Family, the one Christian tradition puts on the top of the tree, is running for their lives across a desert at night, a fugitive newborn on his mother's chest, because a king is trying to reach them before daylight. That is what the text says. That is the picture the words paint, and no nativity scene in the history of Christian art has ever tried to render it. Think about how you'd walk that road with a newborn. You'd walk mostly at night, when it was cooler and when patrols were quieter. You'd sleep in the day, in whatever cover you could find. Mary would still be raw and exhausted from childbirth. The baby would need to nurse every couple of hours. There would be no midwife on the road. There would be no priest. There would be no family. Just Joseph and Mary, and an infant on her chest, moving. Because if they stopped moving, the child was going to die. And Egypt, by the way, was not a random destination. Egypt was a Roman province with a large Jewish community at the time. Refugees had gone there before, when things got bad in Judea. They knew how to disappear inside it. And that's what Joseph and Mary did. Matthew doesn't tell you how long they stayed. He doesn't tell you what they did there. He doesn't tell you who took them in. He just tells you they stayed until Herod died, which means they were there for years. The Christ child spent the first years of his life as a refugee child inside an occupying empire, hiding from a king in his own country. I want you to sit with the ugly part of that for a second, because this passage is in the book. It has been in the book for 2,000 years. It has been in the book the entire time entire denominations have been standing in pulpits explaining why refugees fleeing in the night are not welcome inside the borders. Same buildings, same crosses, same book. The Holy Family they put on the top of the tree in December is the Holy Family that would not, in most of those buildings, get past the door in January. That's not a coincidence. That is what verse 14 does when you actually read it. That is why they don't. And the escape doesn't end there, because